Hi and welcome everyone. My name is Kartika and you're watching Synchro Shakti. Today I thought I will give you a story time, Monday story time, but this one's going to be really long. I'm estimating this video to be super long because I'm going to give you about 2 to 3, maybe 4 stories from my life when I was in the initial days of experimenting with Ho'oponopono, when things, went completely opposite, completely horrifying to what I was anticipating, and why that was a good thing, and some of the things that sometimes happen when you use Ho'oponopono and why it's a good thing. So what we perceive as a terrible, horrible thing that has happened to us, and we stop doing that work because we're like, I'm not touching this prayer anymore because all this negative stuff happened. I will try to give you a better understanding of why that happens and how that's a really good thing really soon. Okay, so today I've been meaning to make this video for a very long time. But today I was seeing on my VIP Facebook group, and we have about like 600-700 people on that group, and a lot of people were writing about how they've done the prayer, but a lot of people have very basal knowledge on this topic. The reason being is because they've probably read Zero Limits, but not read the sequel to Zero Limits called At Zero. The very first line in the book At Zero, which is also written by Joe Vitale, it's like the sequel to Zero Limits. I've linked the book At Zero in the description box. The first line in that book is literally, when shit hits the fan, after using Ho'oponopono, so much of drama comes around in our lives when we use it for a reason, and it's a good thing, and I'll tell you why in a bit, okay? So before I get into my stories, just a couple of things, okay? So if you've been using Ho'oponopono and you get like body pains, it's just see, what is Ho'oponopono? Ho'oponopono is bringing up the unconscious programs inside of you, the memories, the trauma, the past, the pain, all of that is coming up in order for you to start cleaning it up through the prayer. And I also notice that a lot of people are doing it very differently than what has been written in the books or what I've taught. So keep an eye out. I'll make a few more videos on how to use this prayer specific to what you're asking for. So I will make separate videos on that, but on how to use the prayer properly. But for now, let's look at those of you who are experiencing. So it is not, so when you're getting body pains, you're getting a cold, you're getting a sore throat, you're getting the more agitation, more anger, more upset coming up. It's very clear from day one. I don't know where you guys have studied your Ho'oponopono. I don't know if in what I've taught you, it's been very clear from day one that when anything you do, that you look inside of you, inside the depth of your subconscious mind, where the data lies. Any work you do that puts you back into your subconscious and you're looking to clean your inner programming, it will bring up 10 tons of pain, because the amount of unconscious pain we carry is like an iceberg underneath us. Okay, so just by doing the prayer and all that, a lot of this just because you clean like a scratch on the surface, there's still an iceberg of pain that is still coming up for you to clean. So when you are getting these body sensations, pain, sore throat, cold, all of these sensations, it is the underlying pain coming up for you to clean. So it's not, I don't know, I've heard somebody saying something like, this prayer is supposed to make you calm, but it makes me more angry. I don't know why. I mean, I'm kind of dumbfounded at that statement, because it's supposed to make you as unconscious as possible for you to clean that unconsciousness, in the sense that it's supposed to bring up all the underground pain and anger, aggression that you didn't know you had. It's supposed to bring all that. So when it's coming up, you're doing it correctly. It's supposed to bring up your inner pain. It's supposed to bring up all of these terrible trauma that you've carried in your life. And obviously only once you clean that will you reach true peace. I don't know who taught you that instantly you're going to jump into a state of peace. Yes, that can happen. But also, if you're carrying so much of trauma from before, how does the pain, when you're looking within and allowing that to come up, how does that bring up peace? It's going to bring up more pain, more agitation. The answer is to keep cleaning. Why is the pain coming up? Why is the anger coming up? Why is the body pains coming up? Why is all this coming up? Heaviness. It's energy stuck in the body that's asking, you're doing the prayer or mindfulness or EFT or whatever you're doing is for you to release this thing. How can you be totally peaceful and joyful when you've got so much pain under the surface? So until you release that pain in the surface, you cannot really tap into the state of zero. So by doing this prayer, if more pain is coming up, you're in 100% the exact place you're supposed to be. This is the prayer. The prayer is to bring up all of this, to watch it, to clean it, instead of reacting to the world and going into your madness in your mind. You just do the prayer to quieten your mind and just release whatever's in me. So if you're getting even worse, that's the best thing. You're going in the correct direction. I hope that's making sense. Okay, so I'm assuming it's because people have not read the books, or they've only read one book and not read the other one or whatever, but it's totally correct. When more things are coming up, it's for you to clean, so that once you keep cleaning, you can tap into a point where there is no more pain in you and you've touched the zero state. Okay, I hope that makes sense to you guys. It's the reality of the thing, which is why I'm going to tell you about a few of my personal experiences when using Ho'oponopono and manifesting horrifying things in my life. Okay, horrifying is a judgment, and I'm judging just for you guys to understand. Okay, otherwise you don't use judgment and resistance in your spiritual practice at all. Okay, because judgment is not part of spirituality. It's the opposite of it. It's okay, maybe too much spirituality you may not understand, but let's talk into the stories now. Okay, so during the days that I started experimenting with Ho'oponopono, and I experimented for a very, very long time. So it was not something that I just did once and made a video about it. I experimented the nooks and corners of all of this for a long time, many years, before I finally made that video on Ho'oponopono. Okay, it took a long time. Now during those days or years of experimentation with Ho'oponopono, I saw the highs of it, I saw the lows of it, but it turns out that the lowest aspects that I was experiencing, the lowest vibration, the lowest manifestations of my life, in that phase, during that phase of Ho'oponopono, of course I've been through worse and before all of that, but during that phase, it turned out to be the greatest of things that could happen to me, and I'll tell you why. So I read in my VIP group today, some people, they manifested terrible things happening after Ho'oponopono, which is correct, because whatever's in you that has been attracting that terrible things is coming up for you to release, so that you're no longer attracted. If you stop doing the prayer or mindfulness or EFT, whatever you use, if you stop it, then you've kept that same stuff inside of you that is going to keep unconsciously attracting negative things in your life. It's going to keep coming in a pattern, but it's coming up for you now for you to see, hey, if I'm attracting this stuff, there's something in me that's causing this to happen. Let me keep cleaning till that something is released. If you just stop the prayer because of the 1, 2 or 3 times that you had a negative manifestation, then you're just internalizing that in you, which caused those negative manifestations, and then you'll never be free from it. So you might as well keep doing the prayer. Okay, so these are I'll give you about three stories of when things went completely mad during my Ho'oponopono experimentation phase. Okay, so the very first story is when I was invited to do a club show. Okay, perform. So I'm a vocalist. I sing conscious music and reggae. And I was invited to do a club show. It was my very first club show, but I've been performing for a decade. I'm very comfortable on stage, but this was the first time I was singing with like the DJ playing the music, and then I had to sing over the music to a club crowd, which is very new for me. But I went to the club doing my cleanings. I was like, I really want the show to be amazing. What is in me that's blocking me from doing an incredible job? I want the audience to be blown away and everyone just loves the music. And so I had this idea of what I wanted that day to go like, and during that cab ride from my house to the club, I kept cleaning. It was also probably it was probably the very first club show I was doing with reggae. And so I get there, I didn't get a sound check, but I was a guest singer. So I got up on stage, and every singer's worst nightmare is where you can't hear yourself, which happens quite often. the audience completely has this weird distance between you and there's no connection. So I got up on stage, I started singing. The first thing I noticed is I couldn't hear myself. I couldn't, I had to project my voice over and above the loudness of the music, and it was the first time that with reggae your bass is far greater than the treble sound, so I couldn't figure out what the note was, my reference note, so I was singing completely on a whole other note. So you can imagine how messed up it is. So I'm singing on a wrong, and I've been singing for a decade, maybe more, so I don't get my notes wrong. Okay, so for me to get my notes completely wrong, couldn't hear myself, the beauty of the song was butchered, audience just totally disconnected from me. I performed and bombed so badly on that day, it sunk my heart. Like I broke down. I was like, and the thing is, I wanted to make a good impression because I was just coming up as a reggae artist from my city. So I was just like, oh god, I messed up so badly. And it wasn't because of my skill. Like, I practiced it at home, everything was perfect, but I cleaned and I cleaned and I cleaned, and I get on stage and I bomb, and what comes up in me is this underlying feeling that I've had my whole life, which is, you're not good enough, nobody loves you, you are so bad, you don't deserve to live, da 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 da. All of that stuff started coming up. And for 3 days, I just did not talk to anybody. I was so upset. I didn't want to hear the recordings. And the thing is, I got like some friends of mine to come, and I got them to take my camera and record me, and I saw the recording. It was so emotional for me. I remember texting some artists and I was like, oh my god, I bombed, what do? I have no motivation to live anymore. I have no motivation to get up on stage again. I think I'm just the worst singer in the world. And I mean, my unconsciousness around music is based in so much rejection, so much pain. The amount of pain body that musicians carry because of rejection is so deep. It's artists in general, I would say. So all that came up and I was just choking up, and they were, people were just, I don't know, for 3 days, I was completely lost. I was like, I give up music, I give up everything, nothing's working out. And I was just in this pain body state, fully consumed by my unconscious. Horrible artist, nobody loves me, I'm just doomed for failure for the rest of my life. And I was just really broken. So I remember sending a voice note to Joe Vitale himself, okay, the author of Zero Limits and At Zero. And I don't think I read At Zero at this point. So I was meaning to, but I hadn't. So I remember sending him this really emotional message, and I was like, what the hell? This prayer is supposed to make everything go amazing. Everything went completely bad, what the hell, and I don't know if he saw the message, but I don't know if he heard it, but he never replied, which is always a blessing. If your teachers, your people, you're looking up to for advice, don't reply. It's an amazing blessing because they give you the opportunity to find your own way through. And if my teachers gave me the answers all the time, I'd never find my own way. So I give thanks, so I'm not replying. So I went through At Zero, and I heard about how even him, when he started with the prayer, things just went all over the place. And then, he explained about how, shit hits the fan when you bring in your unconscious patterns up to the surface. And I noticed at the time, all I was feeling was, oh my god, I'm not good enough, I'm small, I'm ugly, I'm short, and nobody loves me. And it was like it's like a heavy blanket over me, and I did not clean on it. I was just like, okay, I don't want to do Ho'oponopono anymore, it doesn't work. But then it became a habit, so I kept doing it. So the second time, I got invited by the same organizers to a music festival, not as a musician, not as an artist on the bill, but I got invited to just attend the festival, and I did get to perform, but I kept doing, because I was not an artist at the festival, I went as in a clear energy space. There was no stress for me, okay? And I kept cleaning, doing the Ho'oponopono, and during that entire festival experience, everything went beautifully. I got to perform, I smashed the performance, I did really well, everyone loved it, audience was happy. I met all these amazing artists, I got to speak to them backstage, it was a beautiful location, everything went beautifully. The year after that, I was invited to perform there as an artist, okay? And this time, I had to go with the baggage of my past, being rejected as an artist. And I walk in and I keep doing the cleaning, and I'm already like, okay, I was supposed to start the festival on the main stage, and I was like already visualizing how I want that to go, and I was visualizing the entire event. And the whole time before that, before I went for the festival, which was in a different state, the whole month before that, I was cleaning, and because I wanted my friends to come and support me at the festival, because it was, I think, my very first festival that I was performing. I wanted everyone to be there, and I kept cleaning for that. I was like, oh, I'm visualizing my friends coming and I'm cleaning for that. But my underlying feeling that I had growing up is, I had no friends. I was a loner. I was, bullied, physically bullied, emotionally bullied. So my pattern of abandonment, of people abandoning me, not being there for me, all of that is very strong, in the sense that those programs are very strong, that data is very strong. So I kept cleaning, and more of that feelings kept coming up for me. And lo and behold, my friends who had confirmed that they were all going to come for this festival, every single one of them backed out at the last moment, which put me in a very deep state of suffering, of depression. I was like, nobody loves me, nobody cares. So then I think one of my friends ended up flying the next day to come, and he was there, just one of my friends. And he was there just because I think I just put him in a guilt trip, or maybe, I don't know, he came. He flew over the next day. So during that entire festival experience, I entered the festival grounds and I was cleaning. I was cleaning on my fear, I was cleaning on not feeling not good enough as an artist, and I was cleaning. And more feelings of pain was coming up. The whole time, it was about, I think the whole festival, it was like 2 days and then 3 days I was there in that place, so total 5 days. Everything went wrong. Everything went wrong. Wrong, quote unquote, judgment wrong. There's no right or wrong. Everything is as it is. But at the time, because I was spiritually ignorant, I believed in right or wrong and all of that stuff. So everything went wrong. I walk into the festival grounds. The first thing I know is everyone's doing their sound check. I'm supposed to start the festival, so I should have got my sound check. Nobody called me to do the sound check. I was totally unfamiliar with how it works. I didn't know what was going on. So I finally go up to somebody and I ask for a sound check, and then they yell at me. That person literally yelled at me and said, "What are you doing this whole time? You should have come earlier. We can't give you a sound check now. You go on stage and we will mix you." So the attitude in which he spoke to me brought up that feeling of, oh, I'm so small. I'm so small. Nobody, I'm not good enough. And then I was trying very desperately to get a sense of I'm not small. I'm good enough. So I go and I speak to somebody, and that person used to write to me earlier before, and they were always like, "Oh, I love your work, and I love what you do." I went to that person expecting that person to be nice and warm to me, but guess what energy I'm coming from? I'm coming from this desperation. So I go up to that person and I'm like, "Hey man, nice to meet you." And he looks at me and he goes, and then he looks back. My heart in that moment went from this to I again went down into a pattern of nobody loves me, I'm bad, I'm ugly, I'm small, I'm tiny, I'm not supposed to be here. And the amount of suffering that it was causing in me, I mean, the pain was unbearable at the point. I was holding in tears from the time that I entered, Then I was there were these artists who I met the previous year. I was trying to get them to, connect with me, and I went and spoke to them, and every one of them just ignored me. Every single one of them were just, I was trying to get to talk to them. They were just busy with their own things. They were very disrespectful. One of them said, "Hey, why don't you go down to, to the main stage, and I'll come and join you there." So I went down to the main stage hoping I'll have some friend join me and we'll have some, dances or something. This person, I waited and I waited and I waited and I waited, and this whole time all I'm doing is I'm waiting for other people to give me a sense of validation, because I'm feeling so broken and so small. And I turn around looking for this person, and what I see is he's dancing with a bunch of other people behind me, and he's the one who asked me to wait for him. And again my heart went, Okay, again the feelings are coming back. I'm not good enough. I'm not good enough. Then I asked them, okay, I'm supposed to start the festival. They pushed my set. Can you imagine this? My very first festival. There was no time. Everybody else was doing a sound check. They pushed my set to infinity. Like they kept pushing it and pushing it. They said you'll go up at this time. Then they pushed me to another time. They pushed me to another time. And every time they did, and I kept looking out on the stage. I was like, is it my turn now? Is it my turn now? Should I go now? And everybody was just, I mean, it was just me trying to get my spot on stage. And I was like, I felt like the smallest artist in the world. I'm totally insignificant. Everyone else is cooler than me. They're all, oh, look at them, they're taller than me. I look like a small person, so I'm so insignificant and small. And so these are the programs, data that was coming up for me. They kept pushing my set, pushing my set, pushing my set, and I was just, I had enough of it. I was so angry. It was me against the world, that programming, right? Everyone hates me, nobody likes me, I'm just small. These are programs that are deep-seated in me from the time I was born, okay? I mean, not when we were kids, but when I started developing a mind, you know. Eventually, they came up to me and they said, okay, I'm giving you a prime slot, but not on this stage. You're going to sing on a different stage, on a sound system stage, which is like an indoor stage. So I was like, fine. I go up to the stage manager and I tell him, hey, this is my tracks. I've been given 6 songs or something I was supposed to perform. I've been given 6 songs. These are my tracks. I have to perform at this time. And the stage manager looks at me and he says, you can't perform here. And I was like, what? He's like, yeah, you can't perform here. I said, but the organizers told me that I can perform here. He said, no, you can't. I said, why not? He's like, first of all, your music is different from the sound system, like the format in which we play. So, and you should have like done a sound check and this and that, and finally he just says no. And now I've practiced for the show for like months. I've paid my money. I've come there. I'm looking for an opportunity to get on stage. And this guy just blanks me out. He's like, no. And so I go looking, and at this point, I mean, the amount of pain held in me was like the whole planet Earth of pain was inside of me at this time. And I'm just cleaning. I love you, I'm sorry. Please forgive me, thank you, I love you, I'm sorry. And more of it is coming up. I go and find the organizer. I go tell them, hey, this guy's not letting me, perform. So they speak to him, and then this guy's like, okay, I'll give you 2 songs. But come back at first he said, come back at sunset. Sunrise. Come back at sunrise, when the sun rises, like a 6 a.m. set or something. Come back at sunrise and you can do 2 songs. And at that point, I had enough. I said, no. Either you give me a slot now, or I'm not doing this stuff. I was so broken. I had nobody with me, no friends. I had one friend who was hanging around me, but he has also never seen me falling so far down in consciousness. So I finally, those guys spoke to them, and I got 2 songs. Out of my 6 songs I have been working on, I got 2 songs, which is fine at a prime time. And none of this is their fault. It's on me creating this because of the energy space I was in, okay, and the amount of pain I had to deal with. I blame nobody for any of this. They did what they could because they had their own stresses of the festival, and but all of this was my creation, where I was interpreting everything as nobody loves me. I'm just a small artist. Nobody cares, and so I felt really, really low in consciousness. And finally, they say, okay, we'll give you a midnight set, so a 12 o'clock set. People kept coming in and out going, hey Kartika, when's your set and all. I'm like, I don't even know when's my set. Finally I found it as a 12 o'clock set. I immediately go behind the console. It's like a DJ style, sound system style, and I start singing. First, again, can't hear myself. Bass is not conducive to the sound system, so they can't even enjoy the sound. Audience is again distant. Nobody is connecting. People are like rolling their eyes, completely treating me like I was just some scum of the earth. Like, this is how I felt. And those who are watching this, who were there at the time, will not see this, because this is how I was seeing the whole thing, because of my internal crap. The guys were supposed to mix me live. Nobody, they're just talking in the background. Nobody's mixing me. I sang the best I could, but I could barely hear myself. The notes were not perfect. I got somebody to record it, and then after I finished 2 songs, I wanted to get the hell out of there. I wasn't enjoying the performance. It killed music for me. I think these experiences just made me feel like you know. And I'm sure there's tons more to come, but I've learned from these. But long story short, I finished all this. I went down to the beach and I just bawled my eyes out. I was just crying and crying, and all I could do is I just wanted to find somebody in the audience to tell me, hey, did I do good? Was I good enough for you guys? Was I nice? And people would just be like, yeah, man, yeah, and, you know. So I was just so out of my element, so out of grounding, so out of consciousness, so out of any sense of joy, that all I wanted was somebody to say something nice to me. And nobody did that, because all I was attracting was just negativity to me all constantly. Again, continued cleaning. I wanted to talk to some artists, they just blocked me out, and I was alone. And I had this friend of mine who was there, and he just saw me bawling my eyes out, and he's like, Kartika, you're scaring me. Like, I've never seen you this down. I said, because you've never seen this particular trigger of mine. It's so deep, so deep. And then the next day after the festival, again, I'm still breathing in that feeling of, you know, I'm not good enough. I blame the organizers, I blame these artists, everyone thinks they're better than me, and total ego, total 100% ego. I met one of you guys, one of my viewers, and she came just to meet me, and we spent the day together. And the whole time I'm just condemning, criticizing, complaining, just in a negative state. I don't know exactly what I would have said and done, but I don't believe I did anything wrong. But the next day she sent me an email. So that night she sent me a message saying, hey, it was lovely meeting you, I love your mind. So I didn't see anything going wrong there. Okay, I was just happy to meet her. I like to meet spiritual people. The day after that, I get a message from her, a long message from her, which is full of hatred, full of spite, full of, I mean, she just wanted to tear me down. And I can't imagine, to this day, I can't imagine what I could have said or done to her to have attracted that. But she just went, Kartika, you're the most unloving person in the world. You're misleading people. Your karma is going to come to you. You know, you are whatever. You know, she just said nasty words to me, and I fell. Phew! I mean, the amount of pain that message caused me, and all of this is during this whole cleaning stuff, right? The amount of pain it caused me was it shut me down for like a couple of months. Like, I was so broken by this girl's text message, because I couldn't figure out what I could have said or done to attract this. And this was the first time I had gotten hate. I had never experienced hate from a viewer before, so it was like a new experience. And the whole time I was in the state of nobody loves me, I'm not good enough, I'm too small, I'm too ugly, I'm too short, I'm not good enough, I'm not good enough. So I'm attracting all these things, and I'm cleaning, and more of it is coming up because the trigger was this big. I was thinking, okay, once I clean it like this, it's just everything is going to go smooth. But what I didn't realize is, under the surface, I have 10 tons more of this, 10 years of rejections, my entire life of being rejected for being, you know, small built, or, you know, whatever, because I was stupid, you know, I failed my exams, I had no intelligence, people said I would end up like a cleaner lady in the streets. So all that pain was coming up in those 5 days. You understand? And then once it cleared up, the fog cleared up, I had to look within myself, and I said, what? The very fact that all of these experiences were causing so much pain to come up shows me that the drama is in me, shows me that the anger is in me. How in the world is Ho'oponopono supposed to make me calm when I have not released so much of this pain? So I kept cleaning, and I kept cleaning, and I kept cleaning, and I kept cleaning, and then the iceberg started breaking a little bit, and a little bit, and a little bit, and a little bit. Of course, I mix it with mindfulness, which makes it a lot faster for me, but I kept breaking it down until a point where that year, so at the time when after the festival, I was just like, screw music, I don't want to, I'm never going to be an artist, I'm never going to be successful in life, I'm just going to have to get a job and become like everyone else, and I'm all in that state. I was literally in that state because of I had opened the floodgates of the pain that I had not dealt with for so many years, and it all came up for me. And I had to do forgiveness. So every artist who haven't finished my list, but for every artist who blocked me out, I had to do forgiveness for that. I had to do forgiveness for this girl. So there was a lot of healing that I had to do. And then the rest of the year, this was a couple of years ago, the rest of the year went out so beautifully. I got to do music in Europe. I got, some amazing shows. I started performing better. I started having all these artists connect with me. I started my work, my music videos. Everything just went so beautifully, so purely, so perfectly, because I understood that just because this stuff brought up my pain, that was for me to heal. Until I release this stuff, ain't no one going to be calm. So in your case, if you've been doing Ho'oponopono and you attracted a man and you thought he's your soulmate and he turned out to be the devil, there's a reason for that. It's reflecting something in you that you had to release in order for you to be at the state where you attracted the right person. Because music is where I hold a lot of pain body. Feeling powerless, feeling broken, and it's not about your technical levels. That's the thing. Like, you could be the most technically tied, skillful musician in the world, but if you believe you're crap and you're waiting for other people to tell you that you're good, and I used to do this my whole life. I would have really good vocal ability, but until some other artist, not a regular person, I wouldn't listen to a regular person. A regular person can't make out a difference between a good artist and a bad artist. I would wait for an artist to tell me, hey, you're good. Only then will I feel, okay, I'm good. But on my own, I had no parameter to tell me if I was good or not. For all I knew, I could be terrible and not really know it, right? So all these things would just keep coming up again and again. I would post a song cover, and if nobody commented on that song cover for like in the first 2 minutes, I would go into a very suicidal place. I'd be like, no, I'm giving up, I can't live anymore, nobody loves me, I'm bad. And these are it's literally neurotic, unconscious, crazy, mad thoughts, emotions and behavior because of the pain body. The pain body is nothing but the amount of pain you've held through different experiences in your life that comes up and reflects as attracting all these things. My first experiences in the music industry was like this. I attracted people who wanted to defile me, who wanted to abuse me, who did all these things just because I wanted to be on the spotlight and show people I was good enough. Because I came from that place of I'm not good enough. Which is why today, if you study the way that I teach mindfulness and manifestation, I always teach first dissolving the pain body, dissolving your ego, the one that wants everyone to love you. Everyone love me. If you don't love me, then no, I'm not good enough, I must commit suicide. Pure ego nonsense. Unless you deal with this, your manifestations will always cause you suffering. You'll get that relationship and now you're insecure in the relationship. You get the money, now you're insecure about losing the money. Until you have internal happiness, whatever manifestation you do, you're going to find unhappiness even in that. It's the truth. You know it, I know it. Okay? Being happy first is the greatest way of attracting things. This is why my teachings now are very solid to understanding happiness first. What is the mind? What is ego? How do I go beyond it? That is more important than living in ego and just wanting to attract a law of attraction. Like, come on, man, these things, there are greater things in life than the law of attraction, which you learn later on. But the ego doesn't like that. The ego is like, no, I must have my ex-boyfriend back, otherwise I'll suffer. It's just pure ego lies. Unless you clean this aspect of you, unless you clean your ego, you're just going to keep attracting more of this stuff. So to wrap it up, if you've been attracting crazy things in your life by doing Ho'oponopono or whatever, it's showing you, it's reflecting to you what has still not healed within you. And sometimes it takes time. Some triggers take time. Some triggers are, it took a long time for me to release and continue to release triggers around music, right? Sometimes because I grew up as a loner, I was bullied, or I felt, I was bullied for my size. I'm a very tiny person. I was bullied for the way my nose looks, or the way people are mean, okay? But if you allow yourself to don't release that aspect of you. Don't release your attachment to the past, your history, your attachment to, oh, nobody loves me, only if I attract my ex, only then can I be happy. If you release these utter nonsense, if you release it, you'll finally be free and you can enjoy your manifestations and be open to goodness coming into your life. Unless you're free from these things. So keep cleaning. If you're using Ho'oponopono, keep cleaning. You're not doing it wrong, you're doing it right. It took me this much of pain release in order for my music career to start taking an upward graph and for me to be at peace. Because it took me that much of cleaning, you understand? But of course I use mindfulness, so it helps me a lot more. But if you're just giving up because these things caused you pain in your head or whatever, keep cleaning. It's all showing you what needs to be released. Okay, so that is me sharing some personal history. This happened a few years ago. Okay, and ever since then I've learned so much from that experience. I give thanks to everybody who was a part of it. It taught me so much about the shit that I was holding on to, sense of powerlessness. So you have powerlessness, you're going to attract accidents. And if you attract accidents, look at it as an opportunity for you to release this feeling of powerlessness. So you're on the right path. Just keep finishing off the work. I mean, the people who do Ho'oponopono and are expecting instant calm, I don't know who taught you that. I've never heard any teacher teach this to you. Someone wrote to me the other day saying, I do Ho'oponopono, but it brings out more guilt in me, and so it's not working. I said, who in the universe taught you that doing Ho'oponopono is supposed to make you feel instantly calm? If it's bringing up stuff, it's for you to release so you can become calm. So it's bringing up guilt, work on that guilt. It's bringing up clean that guilt. If it's bringing up aggravation, clean that aggravation. Unless you're fully clean of the things that are upsetting your system, how do you get to a state of peace? So if it's coming up, you're doing it right. And keep cleaning, and then you will eventually hit the state of zero where things flow a lot more smoother for you. Okay? I hope this made sense. I hope this awakened you guys a little bit, and understand that some triggers take some time to work on. They're not very instant, because there's like an iceberg, you know, like not enough because I got rejected by so many, you know, I lost, to this date I have lost every single singing competition I've ever, you know, and so it might come across like I'm really poor at singing. I'm not poor at singing. Though the pain body will convince you are, because of the amount of pain you've held in your body from the years of rejection that you faced by people, by friends, by competitions, by exams, by teachers. If you don't release the past and don't release your attachment to these silly ideas of yourself, there's no way you will elevate to where you're supposed to go. Okay? Cannot attract something positive in your life if you hold so much of pain inside of you, which is why I always talk about mindfulness as your base, right? So those who want to get into the mindfulness program, there is a waiting list in the description box below. Get on the waiting list, and you will benefit from a 30 to 50% discount on the day that the course releases, which is about 30 days from now. I'm sitting and working on it now, but that's the thing. Okay, I love you all. You all can know how to join my VIP group as well down in the description box. I at this point cannot answer all of your emails, especially emails to do with your ex-boyfriends, marriage, relation. This is not my field. My field is pure personal development and self-help for you, self-help, not get my ex back. No, that's not what I help you with. So if you are sending those emails, I will not respond to those. But for those who want to work on clearing your mental pain, your emotional pain, living the highest life you can, you know, creating an abundant reality. For those guys, you're always welcome to message me, and I'll give you the best advice I can give you from experience. This channel is all about experience. I have no intentions of conning anybody. All I want is for you guys to be the best version of yourself, free from slavery to your society and your ex-boyfriend, ex-girlfriend. None of that stuff is important. You and your joy, your peace, your life, your self-excellence, your self-growth, your self-mastery, your life mastery is more important than getting your ex back. Okay? Alright. I love you all, and I'll see you all soon in the next video. Thanks so much for watching.